Hi everyone, I'm Liz and welcome back to Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch for Flosstube episode 35. Welcome back. I have some things to show you today. One of my more frequently asked questions is, do you ever sleep? And my answer is always, yes, of course. I love sleep more than just about anything. But what I'm going to show you today is not going to help me prove that point because I did some things this week and I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. Yeah, so I've got a lot to share with you. I want to give you guys an update on my March Madness bracket as we're closing in on the final. I've got some back from the framers. I've got a finish. Oh, a really fun giveaway. So I mentioned in last week's video that Carla from Cobweb Corner was going to be sponsoring a giveaway in this video. So we'll do that at the end. And I don't know, quilting? Yeah, I think I have some quilting. I have some haul. Okay, enough stalling. Let's get into it. Okay, so first up today, we have a back from the framers, otherwise known as the FFO portion of the video. And these were both framed by me here at my house. And I used two different methods. Well, I used my same pinning method to mount my cross stitch, but I used two different methods for obtaining a custom fit frame. So let me show you the finishes, and then I want to spend a little bit of time just talking about framing, maybe kind of helping. I want to talk about the costs of certain things, and for anybody who's like kind of intimidated by going and getting something framed or framing something yourself, I hope to maybe provide a little more clarity on some items and maybe make it seem a little more doable for you to frame your stuff at home or for you to take it somewhere and drop it off. So yeah, let me show you what I framed and then I'll do that part. I framed my Blackberry house. Oh, I love it. Let me hold it back so the frame's all in the shot. So if you may remember, this was my first goal of my hashtag Samplerary from January and February, where I was focused on working on my samplers. And this was the first one completed. I think I was down to about, I think I had some of the bowl in this bottom section left. And so I stitched that up in January. And it's just been sitting waiting for frame inspiration. And I was all set the other night to mail this one off to Total Framing because I still haven't tried them. But yesterday I decided, you know what? I want to run over to Hobby Lobby. I haven't been there in months. And I took this cross stitch with me and I thought, let me just go look and see if I can find a frame. So I did. This is actually a stock frame off the shelf at Hobby Lobby, and it's a size I didn't even know existed. It's a 10 by 13, and it ended up being the perfect size to look, custom around this Blackberry house sampler. And I just love it. Love it. Okay, so this is Blackberry House by Plum Street Samplers, and I used all of the called for flosses except for the house color, which I think calls for Amethyst by Gast, which at the time that I stitched this, I could not find anywhere online, anywhere. It was sold out everywhere. So I think I just found a close kind of, it's a little bit redder than maybe the Amethyst, but it's fine. That's the only sub I made just out of necessity, and it's stitched on a 40 count vintage light exemplar from Lakeside Linens. And I did customize the frame. So it is a 10 by 13 off the shelf at Hobby Lobby, but it was just a natural wood, like kind of barnwood color. And so I bought some chalk paint colors and was going for a match to this aged pewter by Gast, and sanded and grunged it up. And I took a little video of me painting and putting this frame together, so I'll insert that video here. So that's the Blackberry house. Let me show you my other framed piece and let's talk about the differences. Okay, the next piece I framed this week, Tiny Treetops by Blackbird Designs from the Sewing Club book. I finished this one also in Samplerary. So these were the two samplers that I had gotten done in January and February, and I got them both framed this week and I'm so excited. So this was a custom built frame. This is not anywhere close to a standard size. So I went to Michael's and I actually found this molding on clearance and had them build me this frame and cut me a piece, sorry about the ring light reflection, and cut me a piece of museum glass and add spacers. And then I mounted my cross stitch to foam board using my pinning method, which I'll link that video below if you want to see how I pin my cross stitch pieces. And let me give you a little close up of the frame there. It's just a painted wood, and I felt like it really matched the Weeks Dye Works Pecan, which is this bottom border, and all the letters. And so I feel like that's why I posted this on Instagram and I got a lot of lovely comments, thank you, about the color of this frame and how well it matches. And I agree. I grabbed this off the clearance rack and it just looked perfect. And I was like, yep. Okay, and so I stitched this on a 36 count Picture This Plus doubloon with all of the called for flosses. So that's tiny Treetops. And now I kind of want to talk to you guys about framing a little bit, because I know it can be daunting when trying to look, like trying to look for information on like how much things should cost, how much things actually cost, how to do things yourself, how to save money on certain steps. And so I fully admit I had no real clue how much completely custom framing cost. And so the first time I took 2 samplers to get framed at a local framer, and where they did all the work. They built the frame, they pinned, or I think they laced, and they did all of the work. And it was a little bit of sticker shock. So, and this may not be sticker shock for some of you who are comfortable with framing, but I paid close to $200 for each of my custom frame samplers. And the frames were big and beautiful and had a liner, and not a mat, but like a fillet, I think they call it. And, you know, the high quality glass, you know, just like the full deal, full stop, full service. It was about $200. And I love it and it's beautiful, but I was like, well, I can't do this for every sampler I stitch, or I'm gonna have to stop stitching samplers soon. And so then I was like, okay, let me try learning how to pin some pieces myself. And so then I started doing that, and then I shared with you guys, you know, kind of how I make a store-bought frame work at home, even if it's not the exact right margins, but I decide it's close enough. And so I shared that with you guys in my framing tutorial that I've posted. And then I think the point that I just want to make is there are a couple of different ways to frame things yourself at home. And so this is the more custom route, which is that I went to Michael's and I picked out this molding, and I waited 2 weeks while they built me a frame and cut me a nice piece of glass. And so this method saves me money, but it's not super cheap. So I just wanted to talk about like cost, just to give you guys an idea. So this molding was on clearance. And so this size frame, which I think the inside frame is like 8 by 14 or somewhere in that ballpark. It's not 8, is it? Maybe like 7.5 by 13.5. I don't know. It's a weird size. And so this was $71 for the custom built frame and the museum glass. They told me the museum glass itself was $19, so the frame would have been close to $50, I guess. And then the glass came with spacers, and then they cut me a piece of foam core also at no additional charge, so I could mount my cross stitch. So yeah, the total for this frame, but for me to do it myself at home, was $71. Which much better than the 200, and still I think a really nice custom look. And then on this guy, as you saw in my finishing video that I inserted earlier, I customized this frame myself. So I went to Hobby Lobby yesterday fully prepared to pick out a custom piece of molding. The only reason I didn't go to Michael's is because I had taken this to Michael's when I bought that other frame, and I knew they didn't have a molding that I liked. So I was like, let me go try Hobby Lobby. And so I went over there, and the guy working the frame counter, who was super helpful, he was like, let me look at what you're working with. And he was measuring it, and he's like, you know, an 11 by 14 would fit with the same margins all the way around. And I was like, really? And so he grabbed an 11 by 14 frame and laid it out for me, and was like, yeah, it does have the same margin, but it was like a wide margin all the way around. And I like a little bit of a tighter frame. And so he was like, oh, okay, yeah. And so I'm looking at the, you know, custom moldings on the wall, and he's sitting there thinking, and he's like, wait, we have 4 styles of 10 by 13. And I was like, oh, they make a 10 by 13 frame. And so he grabbed one of them and laid it out, and it looked like the perfect size. And so we measured it and double checked, and I went over and saw, so I think they had like a black, white, gold, and wood. And so I grabbed the wood one, and I was like, I bet I could paint this. And he's like, I bet you could. Because I told him I was looking to match kind of this color, and they didn't even have anything in the custom frame moldings that would have matched that. And so this frame was $29.99, but all of the wall frames were on sale for half off everything. If it's not half off at Hobby Lobby, are we even buying it? So this frame ended up being $15. And then I bought 2 colors of paint. I bought like a sage green and a Parisian gray to mix this kind of color, this kind of green gray color. And those were $2.50 each, I believe, the little bottles. So I think they were $2.50 each. So that was $5. And then I already had an antiquing wax, sandpaper, you know, to kind of distress it. So this cost me $20 essentially to frame. And I think it turned out really fantastic. So the differences here is that there's no glass. This is just in there with no glass, because the glass that comes with these frames is no bueno. It's super reflective, I just don't like the quality. I just feel like you can't see the stitching well through it at all because it's just too reflective. So I always leave out the store-bought glass. I could have asked him to cut me a piece of glass, but I didn't think it could be done same day. And I also wasn't entirely sure that I was going to be able to get the right finish on the frame. So I decided to just frame this glassless. So yeah, $20. And I feel like it's a really nice finish. So yeah, I don't know. I just kind of wanted to share that information on framing in case it's useful to anyone out there who's like a little bit intimidated about getting their stuff framed. Custom framing is expensive, but like pretty spectacular and like full service. You can get a pretty custom look yourself by just ordering a custom size frame. And I have found cheaper places online to order custom sized frames, but you can't pick them out in person, right? You're going off photos. And so for like a simpler thing, like my, what is it called? My Barbara Anna from Halloween. If I can find a picture, I'll put it up here. But I ordered that frame just online based on picture because I just knew I kind of wanted an interesting, funky black frame. And I ordered it in a custom size and it was perfect, you know? So, you know, there are ways to order online and get a nice custom built frame, but especially for something like this where I was trying to match a color, I was like, I got to pick it out in person, or I was going to send it to Total Framing and have them pick it out in person, you know? But I'm so pleased I decided to do this myself and it was $20. It's really not beating, you know, there's like kind of no beating it. Okay. I think I've talked for like 15 full minutes about framing. So should I move on to my finish? Okay, I have a finish. This is not something I intended on working on this week, or maybe even ever again in my life. This was not on the to-do list, but it got done. All because of Stephanie Schaffner. Pam and Steph just keep stitching. They went up to Craft Gallery sometime this past week. Pam was posting in her Instagram stories some frame options that they were looking at. And I saw the corner of a cross stitch that I knew very well because I had started it 5 years ago, and abandoned it at some point years ago. And I abandoned it with like 3 or 4 hours of stitching left to do. And if you've been watching my channel for a long time, you may have seen this in my very first Whip Parade when I showed you some frosted pumpkin stitchery pieces that I had quote unquote stitched wrong before those were the first pieces I ever stitched on linen and I didn't really know what I was doing. I stitched 2/2, but I have now gotten used to stitching next to a vertical leg. I'll link an article below if you don't really know what that means, but that's how I like to stitch on linen, is using a vertical leg to start my stitch. And this piece that I'm about to show you, I had accidentally started that way. So I felt comfortable finishing it. And after seeing Steph's finish with her frame option, I was like, I need to just finish that. I've had it sitting for 5 years. Okay, I'm talked about it enough. Let me show you what I finished. Yay! It's the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery National Park, or Happy Birthday National Parks, something like that. And I love this. It's so cute. I am pretty sure this is the first ever kit I bought from Frosted Pumpkin. And so I did it with the called for 32 count Picture This Plus earthen and all of the called for DMC. Stitched 2 over 2. And basically all I had left to do was this little bottom section of the girl and the land, and then this last little row that says Centennial with the little motifs. And so everything else has been done for like 4 years. And I mean, honestly, what had happened is I just, you know, Frosted Pumpkin kind of got me back into stitching like 5 years ago, and I stitched a lot of their pieces. And then I started branching out and buying charts from different designers and stitching other things and stitching more often. And it's not like that I fell out of love. It's super cute, but I just fell more in love with stitching other things. And so I just never went back and finished this. And I'm sure, you know, everybody who has an obsessive hobby can relate to just deciding, you know, oh, I'd rather work on other things. But I am just so happy that I finished this. And I think I'm going to frame this similarly to how I framed Blackberry House, where I'm going to find a wood frame. I think this is going to fit nicely in an 8x10. I need to do some more measuring. But I want to get a wood frame that I can paint. And I'm thinking maybe something close to one of these blues. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens, but I finished something. I was very excited. Okay, so let's talk about March Madness, because that was really what I was focused on this week. And I got through the last of my 8 projects. Everything got voted on and we had a final 4. I've now stitched all those final 4 items and we're moving into the final. So let me catch everybody up. Last Sunday when I filmed, the project that I was going to start that day, well, it's a whip. So the project I was going to work on that day was Early Americans by Little House Needleworks. And so here is my progress on Early Americans. And I worked on that center freedom block. Just worked on filling in more of the grass, added a flag, some birds, I don't know, just worked on that center block. And unfortunately, this one was voted out. I was so shocked. I really thought this one would continue on, but that's okay. So, I had to say goodbye to this one, but it was fun to get it out and work on it, and I will be back to work on it soon. I am stitching this on a 36 count mystery linen. I have no idea what it is when I bought it. So it's a Zweigart base. It's got the orange line, but I really don't know. It doesn't appear hand dyed, I don't think. Maybe it's like a dark cobblestone or something. I'm not really sure what color it is, but it's really pretty. And I'm using all of the called for fancy flosses. So 1 over 2 on 36 count. Okay, so that project went up against After the Roses by Ink Circles. And After the Roses is really having its Cinderella run this year. I did not expect so much love for After the Roses. And here is where I'm at on After the Roses. So this one made it into the final 4. And I am stitching this one on 40 count Maritime White by Lakeside with all of the called for fancy floss. And it's super lovely. Now guys, not to influence my polls, the thing I'm worried about is if this wins, I do not think I'm going to be able to finish this in March. So I love that everybody loves this one, but like, what was I thinking including this? It's so big. I mean, it's not, it's like 151 by 151, but it's dense. Like, it's not full coverage, but like that is dense stitching. So, you know, it's beautiful and I love working on it, but I do not think this one is going to meet its goal if it makes it into the winning position. We'll see what happens. So that one went on into the final 4, and well, I'll come back to that one in a second. Okay, so the first matchup of the final 4 was my block party and berry days. Okay. I have to look at my list and see what I worked on. Okay. So the first final 4 matchup was block party. Oh, I guess I should have shown you the chart. That's okay. I'll show it to you in a second. This is a hands-on design chart, and it will be one of those square pin cushions. And I am almost to the end. The end's about right here of this big long band. And so I've made a lot of really good progress on this. And let me show you the chart so you know what I'm talking about. Here is what the finished block party will look like. So I'm stitching the big long band that goes around the pincushion, and then I need to stitch the top. So that was the first portion of that matchup. And then the second thing was Berry Days at Thistledown Farms. This is by Brenda Gervais. And here is my progress on Berry Days. So super, super cute. I love stitching on this. This and Meow went up against each other in like the tightest race. And I think the Meow block party won by like 6 votes or something crazy. It was like showing 50-50 on Instagram most of the time. And Meow was up by like between 1 and 7 votes the whole time. It was so close, so close. So apologies if you were rooting for Berry Days, but Meow went ahead and moved on into the finals. So let's talk about the other final 4 matchup. So then I worked on Autumn Alphabet and made some more progress. And I'm stitching this on a 40 count flax, I think, flax or natural, raw natural, just a Zweigart linen. And I am using my own colors that are close to the original. So then that one went up against After the Roses, which had made it into the final 4. And the winner of these 2, I was so surprised, was After the Roses. So Autumn Alphabet will get put away for a little while, but I will definitely get that done by fall because I have the finishing board that I really want to FFO that piece on. So I'll come back to it. But After the Roses is our first contestant into the finals. And joining After the Roses was Meow. So I worked on Meow yesterday for the first day of the finals. And then today I will work more on After the Roses. And then tomorrow you guys are gonna pick the winning project. Yeah, you guys are gonna decide which one of these gets to meet its goal in March. This might not meet its goal if it wins, just a heads up. But yeah, I am so excited about this. This March Madness has been so much fun. I love everybody replying, letting me know, like, you know, if theirs isn't winning, you know, if they're upset about it. And I'm like, sometimes I'm like, I agree. I can't believe that's not winning. But it's been really fun. So thank you all so much for participating and going and voting over on Instagram and telling me what to work on. It's been a fun week and I've stitched a lot and yeah, framed a lot, stitched a lot, started a new quilt. Should I talk about that? Yeah. Okay, that's all I stitched on. Let's talk about a quilt for a second. Okay, so I'm just going to put pictures up on the screen because I don't actually have a lot to show you physically, but I started a new quilt called the Picnic Quilt, and it's by V & Co, and it is using the ombre, can't think of the exact name, but it's her ombre line of fabrics, and it's in the Christmas ombre colors. Well, they're just ombre colors, but they're Christmas themed ombre colors. So I'll put a picture up of what the finished quilt will look like, and it requires basically hundreds of 2.5-inch squares to make those kind of checker blocks. So I sat down yesterday and cut out my first 2 colors and cut out some of the background, and am getting started on a big Christmas quilt in the middle of March because I don't know, I just felt like it yesterday. I just really wanted to cut into some fabric. So I turned on Olivia from Pumpkin Hollow Quilts, and she kept me company while I cut some fabric. And so yeah, that is the quilt update for today. I have not made any more Americana sampler blocks yet, and my quilting appointment for I Heart You is next week. So yeah, that's what I worked on quilt-wise this week. Actually, in this little quilt update, let me show you some quilting haul. Okay, so I talked to you guys last week about how I didn't really have the best stash of fabrics for Lori Holt scrappy blocks because I didn't have a super wide range of colors. I always just like buy what I love, which is like reds and aquas and I don't know. And then, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to screenshot your comment. Somebody hilariously pointed out how I was talking about, oh, I need more variety in my fabrics. And then I was like, here are 3 new reds I bought. Yeah, exactly. This is how I end up in a position where I'm like, let's do scrappy, but I'm like, all I have is red. So I bought this amazing fat quarter bundle. Oh, can you even? God, look how pretty that is. Especially, of course, because it's red. Look at this fabric. Okay, that is the Flea Market line, which is I think the newest line. Well, I don't know, I can't keep up. Lori Holt releases a lot of fabric. It's the Flea Market Fat Quarter Bundle from Lori Holt and Riley Blake, and I love it. And I think it is gonna be great for making some more kind of scrappy, colorful blocks. So, or maybe I'll make this into a whole quilt. I don't know. I have no plans. I just am enhancing my stash. Okay, so now I want to talk about a little bit of haul and a giveaway. I mentioned last week that I hit 7,000 subscribers right before last week's video, which was, I don't know, thrilling. It feels weird to be like, yay, I'm popular. Do I even leave that in? I sound crazy. It's a weird feeling. I am very, very excited that so many of you want to come and sit down and show and tell, you know, and watch me show you what I'm working on and tell you how I finish things. And it's thrilling. I'm so bad at explaining my feelings. I am very, very excited to have hit 7,000 subscribers. Let's just say that. And Carla from Cobbler Corner had reached out to me about offering a giveaway. And I was like, yes, perfect, let's do it. So she sent a couple of things for me, and then I picked out some things for you guys. So let me show you what I picked out. I got Flamingo All the Way by Hands On Design, which is so stinking cute. And so you may remember one of my entries in my March Madness that unfortunately was voted out. They can't win all, or they can't all win, but I want them to. But this was Flamingo Bells that I had started on my hand-dyed fabric. And so I have plenty of this fabric to do Flamingo All the Way on it as well. So yay. I'm gonna put that to the side with my flamingo stuff. And then the other chart that I picked out for myself, which you guys are gonna laugh at, it's another Mirabilia. And it is, oh, what is she called? It doesn't say. Lady Justice. Lady Justice. And again, Pam and Steph. Pam has been showing her progress on this recently, and it is so gorgeous. And I've seen other people working on it as well, but I think it was right after Pam's last video, or whenever, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks ago, when she had shown her update on this, and I was like, yeah, I want that one. I have no plans to start it anytime soon. Obviously, I want to finish my first Mirabilia before I attempt any others, but I have the chart, so I'm very excited about that. So got that one. Yeah, so now let me show you the giveaway. Okay, so I have 4 giveaways to share with you guys today. And these are all courtesy of Carla at Cobweb Corner. I'm gonna link her shop below. She has wonderful stuff. Her shipping was super fast and she's super friendly. She also has a Flosstube. And she was recently going through kind of the new Expo releases and things. So if you're interested, I will link all of her stuff down below and you can go say hi to Carla and tell her Liz sent you. So the first chart I picked out for you guys is Liberty Inn by Plum Street Samplers. And if you've been watching me, you know this is one that I have finished and framed and love. And I thought maybe one of you guys would like to stitch it as well. I'll insert a picture somewhere of my framed one so you can see that. That's actually one of the pieces I've gotten custom framed, so that was like a $200 frame job. But it looks great. It looks fantastic. But yes, so this will be the first giveaway. So if you would like to enter any of these giveaways, you must be a subscriber, like the video, and leave a comment. And in the comment, you will use any or all of these 4 keywords, and I will use the keywords to pull a random winner. You can only win 1 prize, but you can enter for all of them. So the word, if you want to use, or if you want to win this chart, the word will be Liberty. So that's Liberty Inn by Plum Street Samplers. And then I picked out Hip Hop Chockful by Hands On Design. So as you guys may remember, it's sitting over there unloved and untouched, I can't wait to finish it, is my Hip Hop Chockful that I am very close to a finish on and will be hopefully finishing very soon. Oh my gosh, it's already gonna be Easter in a few weeks. What am I doing? Why have I not finished this? I'm gonna have to finish that this week. So if you want to win this one, yeah, hip hop, hip space hop. Hip hop will be your keyword for this one. The next is another chockful design, because you know I love the chockfuls. This is one I haven't stitched, but I have, and I can't wait to do it. And this is Bloom Chockful by Hands On Design. So the keyword for this one will be bloom. And then lastly is another one that I have not stitched yet, but you guys know I want to. I showed this to you in a few videos ago, and it is from Birds of a Feather, and it is Beware of Cat. It's just a funky, fun Halloween piece. And so there's a little extra special treat that comes with this one if you want it. So if you want to enter to win this one, go for it. And if you just want the chart, that's fine. But if you're the winner of this chart, I will cut you off a piece of my big ol' yard of sparrow. It's 40 count sparrow, so you have to be comfortable with a dark 40 count. I'm not even yet, but if you win this chart and you want a piece of that sparrow to stitch this on, I will gladly cut you off the right size and send it to you with this chart. So we're gonna use the word beware. Beware. So if you want to enter to win this one, you will say beware, bloom, hip hop, and liberty. You will have until next Sunday to enter when I film my next video. I always pick the winners right before I start filming. So you have a week, and next week I'll pull the winners and get these all sent out to you guys. Just a big thank you to everybody who watches my videos from the first one till now, or you just started last week, or this is your first time here. Hi, hello. I'm so glad that you wanted to listen to me talk about cross stitch for like 45 minutes. I have fun doing this every week, and I'm so glad you guys enjoy watching. And I'm not gonna ramble this time. I'm just gonna cut myself off now because I'm filming late today. It's gonna take me a while to edit today. This is gonna be an evening video. I can feel it. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next week. Bye.